My name is Richard Fowler. I am an American storyteller and a journalist. And I'm happy to be here tonight because it's so important that we celebrate the accomplishments in journalism and in media of the LGBTQIA community, especially in moments like now.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the ACLU website today, the ACLU is currently tracking 515 anti-LGBTQ pieces of legislation, and the number just seems to keep going up all the time. And whether these bills eventually become law or not, I feel like the conversations around them are pretty harmful to a lot of members of the community. And just wonder what your thoughts are on that, and particularly in this election year.
Look, I think it's no mistake that you see these bills passing, and when these bills are passing, you're also seeing state legislatures passing bills to ban African American history. And I often say, who's caught in the intersection of that? James Baldwin, the famous author. And so when we think about these moments and how important this upcoming election is for us as a community, we've got to get up, we've got to get out there, because our vote matters, and not just in the presidential at the top of the ticket. Our vote matters in the bottom of the ticket. You're talking about state legislatures, right? These are votes that are won by 10 votes. 15 votes, 20 votes. In many cases, these are races where we can go run for them and win. And I think when I think about that, I think about somebody like Danica Rome in Virginia, who ran for a seat because of the transportation issues in her community, and now she's in the state Senate. So there's work that we could be doing as a community to make sure we're part of the process, we're engaged in the process, and if we don't do that, right, like what they say, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And for our community, oftentimes we've been on the menu, and we're in 400 cases we might be on the menu if we don't get involved in this election.
And tonight's partly about celebrating LGBTQ representation and our voices in media. Is there something that has excited you or inspired you over the last year when it comes to that?
Absolutely. I think to connect those two things together, because they are connected, when we tell our stories, I think our stories is the biggest tool that we have to break down both the discrimination that's happening to our community, but it's also the stories to create understanding and build grace, right? And so when we are telling more stories and we're uplifting our stories, and tonight honoring those same stories, what we're also doing is showing the world that we're here and we're not going anywhere, and we are part of American culture. Not only are we part of American culture, we are the thing that makes American culture a global tool for democracy. When you go around the world and you think about who they're talking about Beyonce, they're talking about Michael Jackson, they're talking about all these artists that when they first came to prominence, we were the ones selling out their arenas, we were the ones selling out their tours, we were the ones many times designing their costumes, doing their hair and makeup, we're their choreographers. All the things that we do to bring these artists to life is all part of our culture. And so celebrating the stories that are that culture is not only critical, but it's important. So I'm happy to be here tonight.